December 7, 1941. The Japanese military attacked the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in the Hawaiian Islands of the Pacific Ocean. With this attack of Japan, all calculations of World War II changed. In the wake of this sudden and devastating attack by Japan, the United States, which was indifferent to the World War, took an active part in the war. Before World War II, Japan was an aggressive country. After 2 consecutive victories with China, Japan became more aggressive in the war with Russia. After winning World War I, Japan became more imperialistic. To survive the economic depression following World War I, Japan sought to expand its hegemony, and in 1931, Japan began to expand its hegemony through China's invasion of Manchuria. This aggressive attitude of Japan was not taken well by the United States. The United States severed all trade relations with Japan after warning but failed to produce results. As a result, Japan was deprived of importing various weapons including fuel oil from the United States. There have been several meetings between the two countries regarding the lifting of the trade embargo, but they have not yielded results. Rather, the tension between the two countries began to rise a decade before the start of World War II. As a result, Japan's war with the United States became inevitable. The route by which Japan attacked Pearl Harbor and retreated. The route Japan attacked Pearl Harbor and retreated from, Wikimedia Commons. The United States' largest naval base was at Pearl Harbor in the Hawaiian Islands of the North Pacific Ocean. The base was built in 1908. Then in 1940, the main U.S. naval base was moved from California to Pearl Harbor in the Hawaiian Islands. Strategically, this base was a very important military area of the United States. This naval base was located about 2,000 miles from the mainland of the United States and about 4,000 miles from Japan. On November 26, 1941, Japanese forces with 6 aircraft carriers proceeded to attack Pearl Harbor. The ships were accompanied by 353 aircraft, 3 cruisers, 11 destroyers and a few small submarines. At 7:55 a.m. on December 7, the bombers took off from the ship and began firing one torpedo after another at the Pearl Harbor naval base. Heavy bombardment and machine gun fire followed. U.S. warships, warplanes and various weapons were immediately destroyed. 4 of the 8 U.S. warships were sunk, the remaining 4 were damaged, before they could prepare to counterattack. 3 destroyers and 7 other ships at the base were destroyed. More than 300 aircraft of the U.S. forces were destroyed. 2,400 military and civilians were killed in this Japanese attack. The number of injured was about 1,200. Wikimedia Commons. Despite military tensions with Japan, nothing was done to increase security at important naval bases such as Pearl Harbor. Originally, no one imagined that Japan would attack the largest naval base of the United States by traveling nearly 4,000 miles. As a result, the largely undefended naval base became an easy target for Japan. The men of the naval base were so bewildered by the surprise attack that far from counter-attacking, it became difficult for them to resist the attack. Besides, the day was Sunday, a weekend. Everyone was in a holiday mood. Many were then preparing to attend religious prayers. But in no time, the U.S. forces bravely tried to repel the attack. By 10 a.m., the U.S. forces were able to destroy 29 Japanese aircraft and 5 small submarines before the Japanese forces retreated to their ships. In addition, 64 Japanese soldiers were killed in the U.S. counterattack. Earlier, at 7:20 a.m., images of many aircraft appeared on the U.S. radar installed on Honolulu Island. The officials of the information center thought that the planes were U.S. bombers, B-17 feet. They had information that the U.S. bombers would come from California to the northeast of the island of Hawaii. The U.S. military has to pay a heavy price for this mistake by data center officials. But luckily all 3 U.S. Pacific fleets were at sea for training that day. As a result, they survived the Japanese attack. Japanese Navy Chief Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto planned the attack on Pearl Harbor. Japanese Prime Minister Tozo Hideki was also interested in declaring war on the United States. Navy Chief Yamamoto advised the Prime Minister to weaken the U.S. militarily and break morale by launching a surprise attack rather than engaging in direct combat first. Hours after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Emperor Hirohito of Japan declared war on the United States and the British Empire. The next day, the United States and Britain separately declared war on Japan. As a result, a new dimension was added to World War II in just 2 days. The West Virginia was hit by 6 torpedoes. West Virginia hit by 6 torpedoes. Photo. Wikimedia Commons. 6 months after the first attack on Pearl Harbor, Admiral Yamamoto planned the second attack on Pearl Harbor. According to the plan, Japan built a base on Midway Island, 1,500 miles from the Hawaiian Islands. But when all Japanese radio communications were leaked to the US launched an ambush, sinking 4 Japanese warships and destroying 322 aircraft. About 5,000 Japanese soldiers were killed in this attack. The United States did not stop here. At the end of World War II, atomic bombs were dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing more than 200,000 people and destroying the two cities.